I'll start with you, Tim. How can I ask how old you are?
63 years old, sir.
Yeah. And
I'm 65.
65?
64.
Yeah.
With the pension in two months.
As long as they don't put it up, that's what I'm worried about. I'm bloody 62.
Oh, I'd be none by the time you get there.
Okay, Tim, what was your first board that you can...
My first board was from McCoy and Thomas.
Yeah.
And it was an Atlas Woods.
Atlas Wood, yeah.
And it fell off the car before I even went in the water.
So was it badly damaged or not?
Not bad enough.
Ian, what was your first board?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Probably off the shelf.
Yeah.
Well,
Mine,
most boards were
Most
off the
boards are
shelf.
off the shelf.
yeah, mine didn't even, it was a homemade thing, so it never had a name, so I can't remember. So, what made you guys start surfing?
Most probably at Oaka when I was about 13 or 14, someone was out there surfing. It was a great day. There was big left-handers coming off those rocks. And
Yep.
Jesus, that's amazing. But then my brother was surfing, so...
Your brother was surfing before you, I take it, eh? Yeah,
Yeah.
Chris, yeah. And Ian, when did...
I don't know, it was better from Longland, really.
Yeah.
It was just a surge, everyone wanted to go surfing.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going back to 64, 65.
Yeah.
So,
So,
everyone, just a craze, it was,
Yeah.
you know, then the Beatles, and, you know, it was a great time to
Yeah.
be a bloody teenager.
so everyone was into
Everyone
it about
was into it,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
just
yeah.
joined up, you know.
So where did you start surfing?
Sandy Bay.
Sandy Bay.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Most of the surfing was Sandy Bay, although also,
Well, there were different groups, like
yeah.
Yeah,
McLean and all them surfed at Part Out
yeah,
with Carter and Wacker and those sort of guys, didn't they? And then there was a group that went to Sandy Bay, and you guys were at Nungaroo,
yeah.
you know.
Sort of lived there.
Yeah.
But the early ones I remember were sort of Waipu Cove because a lot of the clubbies sort of started,
That's right,
and
yeah.
Tui and all those guys
Yeah.
and those Clooney boys were
Yeah.
out that way, weren't they?
Yeah.
So Tarahi Surf Club, when it got going, what are your memories about the club?
Well, the first meeting was in the old AMP hall, you know, those offices in
Yep,
front of the
yep,
AMP hall.
yep, yep.
And I don't know, there were probably 20 people there.
Yeah.
Picked committee and whatever.
Yeah, we had a social committee, eh? And I remember, I think we were all on the social committee. I remember going to a dance at Onarahi. Did you go to social at Onarahi years ago, Tim?
That would have been one of the prize givings, the one
Probably
around
was.
by the airport there.
Yep, yep, yep,
Yeah, a lot of them were at the Old Boys Football Club,
yep.
and also Marsden Wheelers. They
Yep.
had a few of them up
That's
there.
right, yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep. So that first contest they had in 1966, you entered it. Did you do pretty well in it?
Well, they had different contests over the years. It
Yeah.
must have been 1966. The club might have been formed in about 65.
I think it was, yeah, yeah.
And then we had interactive contests with different, like Port Waikato and Surf Syndicate and those sort of crowds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
I
the
remember
surf,
going down to Piha, the surf syndicate.
Yeah.
was that the one that was a closed syndicate? Because one,
Yes.
yeah, they asked you to be a member or something,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
seemed a bit,
They were ratbags, so they got kicked out of New Zealand Surf Association.
yeah, yeah.
They were good surfers, but they were bloody ratbags.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me a good story about you. I know you went to, would you say, Gisborne, was it a surf trip? You must have had, when was that, 66, 67?
I think it's 67.
Did you go to, Tim, with
Yeah.
them? Yeah. So what was that in the New Zealand Champs? Was it one of those?
Yeah, New Zealand champs at
Yeah.
Gisborne.
Yeah. But you did well there, didn't you?
No, I got through the first heat, that's all.
That's all.
But I mean, in those days, you weren't like professional surfing.
Yeah. The judging was a bit dodgy, sure, and it still is.
But I mean, you played up all night and you went
Yeah.
to bed, you climbed in the bed about 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and then you're meant to be active the next day to go into a surf contest, as you can imagine.
I think we might have gone down twice to actually.
Yeah.
There might
Yeah.
have been 2 trips.
To
You slept
Gisborne.
on the ground,
Yeah.
you know, you weren't.
No tent.
No,
Right.
well, you had a tent.
Yeah.
If you were home early, you got a tent.
Couldn't make it to the tent probably. Yeah. So in those wintry days in the talking about early 60s, no wetsuits around. So what did you wear out in winter when you were out surfing?
Yeah, I was lucky because my brother ran out of it. He grew out of his vest.
Yeah.
So I had a vest.
You had a vest, yeah. But those, what I remember, they were so blinking uncomfortable. They were horrible, weren't they?
McLean was about the only one that wore heads and shorts.
Yeah.
Shorty wetsuit.
But I can't remember us grumbling in winter about going surfing.
No.
We just went, you got bloody cold and you went in, didn't you? So,
You
yeah.
normally used to have a milkshake when you got out, so you cooled the inside of your body. The inside was warmer than the outside, so
Yeah.
you cooled it down quickly.
What's one of the best boards you had since you've been surfing?
Oh, basically, well, mine got ruined when I went to Christchurch to the contest, to the New Zealand contest down there, and it got smashed up. And Peter Way sent me one back.
Yeah.
It was about a 7'9".
Yeah.
It was just before.
So how did your board get wrecked down in
Just
Christchurch?
a plane trip.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they got damaged.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just sent it down for repairs, and he sent me a brand new one back for nothing. So
That's
it was
brilliant.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Ian, what was your best board? The current one or one you had years ago? That
No, probably a Keo, which I went to Australia with Ross Bromfield and Dak and Harrow.
yeah, it was a bit of a surf trip. Just
We went in about May of '67. We went over by ship, and we were at Tweed Heads, and we thought we were going to have a beer. We'd been surfing something. Go and have a beer, and we came out and sort of dusk, and shit, our surfboards had gone stolen.
Yeah, a whole lot.
Too bloody trusting.
Yeah,
And the Aussies slipped in and whipped them off and gone.
yeah,
So anyway, I rang the insurance agent up the coast there because we're all insured, and he said, we'll go and get another one, tell me what it costs. So I remember I went for a Keo and Harrow went for a Hennessy. I had a Davidson at that stage.
yeah.
It's a Laurie Davidson, he made the yachts and so on later on.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And so it was an Aussie board, and pretty good board too.
yeah, yeah. And
We were 9'6" back here, I think we shortened them up.
Yeah. The late 60s they were starting to get shorter anyway, I remember.
Yes.
Tim, were you an agent for a while? And
Brother, Chris.
yeah.
He
What were they, Rodney Davidson, what were they?
No, I think he started selling Rodney Davidson to start with, but then land surfboards.
Oh yeah,
Hamilton.
yeah,
We used to drive to Hamilton on a Friday night, pick up the boards and drive home that night, and meet these guys at 6 o'clock in the morning. We'd have 6 surfboards on top of the reef rack when they'd be done. And they'd be up there ready to go to the beach when we got back.
I can remember your brothers V-Dub were at Shippies one year, and from town he brought out about 3 girls that were from Auckland University, and he drove them back after having a bit of a party at Shippies. I remember going along in his V-Dub, and away picked his V-Dub and took it up the beach, and he just carried on like nothing. It was floating in the water, so I remember that about your brother. So what's one of your best rides you've ever had surfing?
Oh, well, like you said, when we looked at the wall here before, 1966, when that, I think it was an earthquake in Chile or something,
Yeah,
and sent those waves through.
yeah,
Other times, Piha, where you talked about that Piha contest, the Surf Syndicate,
yeah,
it was, I think I got second in that and knocked out a lot of those big fellas over.
yeah,
Waihi had a big, when I was rowing surf boats,
yeah,
having the beach to yourself nearly,
Yeah.
out in front of where the boats were riding, going in and out.
yeah, yeah. On the bar there, right? Yeah,
Most probably the one Memorial Day would have been when that coal boat went down up north,
yeah,
and McLean and Wordley and I, we went to Shippies at the time. It was breaking about 8 foot,
yeah,
and all the locals were just standing on the beach and staring at us, and we jumped off the rocks and caught about 3 rides each or something. And
yeah.
it was just a great day.
And that was no leg ropes either then,
No,
probably.
it's huge, it was, yeah.
Yeah. You didn't go around the rocks and Shippies in the old days because
No.
you were too scared to move.
Well, cars weren't suitable,
Yeah.
the concrete wasn't there in those days.
No. Ian, what do you reckon one of your best rides that you've had? Are we going to get that tomorrow?
I can't recall really, but probably the best and most, what I enjoyed most was Shipwreck Bay.
Yeah,
I remember going up there, we used to go up on a Friday night.
yeah,
You get there and I heard these waves crashing on the beach at 90 Mile Beach because it was like midnight. We didn't drive down the rocks
yeah,
at that stage, and I could hear the surf. I thought, shit, what have we got ourselves into here? First time up there, you see. Anyway, by the time we got up in the morning, we dropped a bit. We went around to Shipwreck Bay, and I just couldn't believe what we were seeing.
yeah, yeah,
And it was probably a metre.
Yeah.
And it was just unbelievable.
yeah, just peeling off.
And I remember peeling out, or paddling out, and I saw this guy, because we got there in the morning, and there were some other guys there we didn't know. I was out the back there, and I looked around, there's a guy called Mark Simpson. He was a member of Surf Syndicate
Oh yeah, yeah,
at the time. And I went through intermediate school and early couple of years of high school, with boys' high school, and we got chatting away there, and he was pretty good actually. I hadn't seen him for about 4 or 5 years.
yeah,
And remember too, we'd catch carp off the rocks and cook them with a corrugated iron over the fire.
Mussels too.
Mussels,
Everyone
yeah,
got
it was just
mussels there.
unbelievable,
Yeah,
eh?
yeah. It was good
I
fun.
remember going up the hill,
Yeah.
walked through the sand hills, we found a skeleton.
Yeah.
And had rosary beads, and the wind had blown the sand sort of. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And so we called the cops, I think, and they said, oh, it's been old one, you know.
yeah,
But yeah, those are incredible.
Mm.
So that's probably the best place I've seen.
yeah. I can. We used to camp there in the corner there, and I can remember you had a. I don't know how we got beer, but we got beer because we were really young. We buried our beer in the sand and put a stick up. Of course, the waves lost a whole lot. We spent a lot of time looking for that dozen of beer and never found it. So, you guys had any surf accidents or?
Yeah.
What's your worst one?
Well, I suppose it smashed all the bottom of my teeth and about 8 stitches in the face.
So the board come up and smacked
Yeah.
into. Yeah. Whereabouts was that?
At Waifu.
White Bird. Yeah. Ian, anything bad?
Yeah, I
surfing?
had board come up under the chin and lost 2 teeth. And that was at North Kira,
Yeah.
the Gold Coast. So, yeah, while we're over there.
He's got falsies now.
Favourite beach for surfing?
Pretty hard to beat the cove, I think.
Waifu Cove on a good day.
Pretty hard to on a good day.
What about you, Tim?
Oh, many of them. Where the wave was.
Where's a
wasn't
good
it?
wave?
Yeah, Waifu Cove's my favourite, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah, when I die, you can throw my ashes in there.
Yeah. Okay. What? Tell me a funny story that over the years you must have several funny stories. So you want to start with one, Tim? Something stupid?
Well, it's about Buff.
Yeah, go for it. He can smack you on the
You
head.
might have to cut this one out because he won't go through what everybody to know. But we're one of the nationals at Gisborne. We're in there and we're at a party there. I think there was about 12 of us in a van or something. We went down there. I remember a bottle came through the window and next thing the cops arrived. And I remember going back in looking for Ian because he was the only one missing. And he was standing up against the wall with about 5 others and the cops were all there, lining them all up, asking their names and taking their particulars. I remember walking in and grabbing Buck, saying, "You're with us," and walking him out the door, and the cops didn't even say anything, and we're back in the van, or back to the tent before anybody
I
knew.
remember that.
Yeah.
Also remember we're at the prize giving or something, and Wordley had a nice brown leather coat. It was just, he was real class, you know. Oh, Tui's about bloody 10 years older than us, you see.
Yeah.
Real smooth. He had this bloody nice leather coat. He put it on a chair, he's up dancing. He must have looked around, he saw someone stealing it.
Yeah.
So he's off there to grab it and whack this guy, and next thing it's all on, mate. The whole hall.
You started a
Cheers,
riot.
mate. Started a riot, all right. We were out the bloody door and off.
Yeah.
It was still going on, you know.
The only other one was, the funniest one was at Old Boys Football Club down at the town basin.
Yeah, yeah.
And they had parties there and we used to buy kegs, you see, so we'd carry the kegs and put them out the back and we'd have beers there and all of a sudden one of the kegs went missing.
Yeah.
So Worley and a couple of others went for a walk along the waterfront and these yachties yell out to them, "Do you boys want a beer? Come on board." So we wandered down board, there's our keg there. So you can imagine what happened. We got our keg back anyway, yeah.
Well, I must tell you, the funniest story, talking about Tui Wordley, I thought he was pretty marvellous surfer. Most of us probably, he was like he had his dog and he could do a few tricks, but I remember we just got the lights in the Bank Street there and I was in my Morris Minor, which isn't known for speed, and Tui was in a line spreading truck right beside me,
right.
and I think it was young Max Atkins said, "Tui, you want a drag?" He just beat me like I couldn't believe that he took off so fast. He just absolutely thrashed me.
Yeah.
He's
It was a pretty marvellous
he had
guy.
style of his own, eh?
Yeah, yeah,
He used to stand on the board like Mickey Dora,
Yeah.
square to the board rather
Yeah.
than facing the wave.
yeah.
Or back, he used to cruise along the wave.
I remember taking his dog at Waifu Cove and doing handstands and all those sorts of things, which they still do today. But so yeah, so that's pretty good what we've got so far, I reckon. And now, who do you reckon I want to get a bit of this stuff on tape, just the stories and that. But anyone you think that stands out that I probably don't know or I should interview that is early surfing or was right in there?
was, I mean, names of the past. I mean, these guys, like you say, the clubbies and that sort of guys.
Yeah.
But I mean, Wordley was most probably the guy that was...
Him and Ross Edge probably, eh? Yeah.
Came back down. I don't know, you could talk to my brother Chris.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to him,
Know more about the Tarahi part of it.
Yeah.
Ian McLean would be quite interesting to talk to, if you can remember that far back.
Yeah.
The Murray Jacks and those sort of guys. You most probably know their stories anyway.
Bill and Orrin Durham are pretty keen, and so we'll get plenty, and we'll shove it all together. Yeah. And you guys are still surfing?
Yep. Trying to get out there every now and again.
I think it's good for you, eh? I thoroughly enjoy it, and I don't know, if you go somewhere different, there's always someone you know out there, so that's what I enjoy about it.
Yeah, the biggest regret of mine, life, is I stopped surfing.
Stop surfing, yeah. I know you struggle a little bit to get back into it, but you've made it now, haven't you?
Yeah, but it was, I bought that board for the 60th, but that really pissed me off.
Yeah.
Once I got back into why wasn't I doing this before,
Yeah.
Anyway, that's why.
It's good fun, I don't know, I still enjoy it. But that's
You gotta be
pretty good.
reasonably fit too.
Yeah.
Well, that's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Is, if you don't go out enough, you soon lose your fitness.
Yeah, I noticed that. I've only been out for a few weeks, so you really
and that's
know.
where I find now that you have a long time out the back waiting for the next wave.
The wife says I get grumpy and you better go for a surf, and she's probably right. So
you've got to wait there for a while to get your breath back.
that's brilliant. I'll turn this thing off.
Around the point on here, just
right
north,
around
just
the
north.
point.
You're just north of them. Sitting at the Tutikaka pub because it was a great place to go. Surfing Sandy Bay, get up at about 6 o'clock, get out there, then come back to Tutikaka. We're all underage. We'd sit out in the garden bar, and I remember one time you bloody Colin Rack and Hawkins.
Yeah.
About 5 of them come out of this big chef, and they are absolutely from head to toe in dust. You can just see the bloody. The panel beater would have been there too.
Yeah.
Jesus, it's so funny.
Yeah.
And then another time, we'd be there and we'd be drinking, and the bloody barman would come out and tell us that the cops are coming through Nungaroo. They just got a phone call.
Yeah.
So we'd all jump the fence, sit in our cars, and there'd be cigarettes and ashtrays and half-full jugs, and the cops would walk through and we'd watch them go up the hill, up out of the car, jump the fence and finish our beers. Wordley would be able. He would stay there because he was older.
Too Wordley.
Yeah,
Well, I always remember him said he went to Hawaii.
Do you when you get out there and you hit the White Bee Bridge, by the fishing club near the river?
Oh yeah.
You're up, and the wheels come in, and you go back down, and it goes boom, 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 boom.
to look straight.
Straight as that.
Yeah, it's had the sort of the toe in.
I remember Blobfields had a like 1940 Chev or something, and Ken Berry had one too,
Yeah.
And there used to be races on it. Jesus, talk about scary.
Ken Berry. I think he's hunting with us. He might do a little bit of surfing, eh?
Yeah, not much now.
He does a lot of pig hunting.
Yeah. Colin Lowe's another one that I'll catch up with. Yeah.
Younger brother Bill.
Yeah.
And it was only something like 7'6" or something. We're riding 9 footers, and it was just all the bits and pieces that they was glued together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and taking that out and riding it, but shit, it's too hard to pedal.
Yeah.
And throwing it away and going back to your longboard sort of thing.
You got to get in a real critical part of the wave to actually catch it, then, don't you?
Just go back to that book. If you get the book called Stoked
Yeah.
by Bob McTavish, that is fantastic. It goes right back, right when the late. He was a clubby in the 50s.
Yeah.
But it's sort of walking side by side with what we were doing.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
Yeah.
It's some of the things they did, and you think, shit, we did that,
Yeah.
But you should try
well,
it.
I will.
Go to Amazon and
get
it.
No trouble, eh? Yeah. Well, it's quite amazing. My neighbour Terry New lives near.
He built his just out of ply.
Yeah.
Of course, expanded, and the bloody plywood mould just went all this big expensive.
Yeah, so he blew his own foam. Yeah. Well, that Ross Edge, that
had a concrete one.
he had a concrete one. And I said, well, how did you get the mould? He said he had an old board that had broken the fin, and he laid that down, made it upside down, and then he poured concrete over that, and then they did the other half, then hinged it, and that's how they made the mould. So they had the basic shape.
I think that blew Probably the concrete part too.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they wouldn't have put any mesh in it, I suppose.
No, they hadn't mesh in it, but it still broke. I remember
broke,
going in
yeah.
it, the whole mould was broken.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't
But you
realise.
see, I think he lost all his photos in a fire.
Yeah, well, I feel a bit sorry for him.
I remember going into Wrightson's there in Wright Stevenson's those days, in Canberra Street. Yeah, roughly the bottom isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and seeing bloody surfboard, it was like that, but it had pink footprints on it.
Oh, okay.
Step here.
Yeah, roll a bloody fencing wire next to it, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone was selling them.
Yeah.
You know those magazines that Tony had. I remember selling the advertising to go into Cliff Thomas.
That's right.
That's a classic.
And
Yeah.
I said to Cliff, you know, we've got this magazine. I didn't know him. Well, I knew him, but he didn't know me.
Yeah.
And I said, look, we'd like to sell some advertising in here, and you know, would you look me into it? He says, you young buggers, he says, I have nothing but hassle with you guys. You steal more than you buy. Like wax and all that.
But he still sponsored you, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Jesus, yeah, no, he
The four of them and me, and I said, yeah, okay, we'll go down. And we went down to Wangata. We slept on the beach. Well, early one morning, we woke up and there's these bloody clubbies standing there.
Yeah.
And what you guys had here for? You've been breaking bottles. You know,
Yeah.
like there's about 5 of us and 10 of them.
Yeah.
They just wanted us to bloody leave.
Yeah.
More going on at that stage, you know, between.
Oh, yeah. The surfies and the surf club guys, yeah.
And so we cleaned up all this glass, but you know, definitely wasn't ours. It was sort of, wasn't even near us, but 10, 15 metres away. But you see it had been there for a while because it had been, the sand has sort of stuck to the glass.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it sort of fused to the glass.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, they'd just been smart, so we
Yeah.
packed up and moved on. But,
They still have trouble there. They're Christmas down there, so all the young people, and it's pretty horrible what goes on down there now, isn't it? You know, I reckon it is. But when I was talking to Barry Chappelle, he's, you know, the Tatahi symbol there, and I think the guy King designed
yeah,
that.
grinded.
Well, he's got the first print of
Oh,
that, he
okay.
reckons.
Yeah.
So Barry must have been on that first
You know who that
committee.
is? Do you know who that is?
Yeah, Dora or no?
Mickey Meadows.
Yeah,
Says from the photograph.
yeah. And I reckon he did that by accident, and everyone sort of copied it after that style of crouching down or that what he was doing.
So there's a story there. 1961, Wordley and Ross Edge.
Yeah.
1965, they called a meeting of all local surfers.
65. I remember that.
Yeah.
The
That was
front
at AMP Hall,
front office, they would be all right.
Yeah, little wee
35
front
people
room there.
attended, and the club was off the green.
How many, sorry?
35.
That's a good
Yeah.
turnout, eh?
Mm.
Yeah. And probably just word of mouth. I don't think it was advertised or anything.
No.
Ainsley Knight was our princess.
Anything like, yeah.
Shipwreck. Chris says, yeah, let's go. Wake me up, come up for 6 o'clock or 5:30 when I was there. No one there, so I went round what I thought was his bedroom. I was throwing stones at the glass, you see. Next thing, Mrs. Fraser, what are you doing here, Ian? Get away. Go. Chris didn't want to go to telling me off for waking them up so early. Throw glass, it was her bedroom.
Yeah. Dear.
Easily.
Yeah,
Paisley
the
was all the
circly
bloody
thing.
fashion,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So I sent it down and it came back. I saw it for hire at Sandy Bay.
Oh, yeah.
Because you recall the Pullmans, Mrs. Pullman had a shop there, right?
Yeah, she
Had a
did the
caravan
bloody
there.
apple
And
tarts.
that was
or
really
whatever.
neat, eh?
Yeah,
The fact you come out of bloody surfing and cold and you can
Yeah,
buy a cup
yeah.
of soup.
yeah. Well,
But
that's
you're
great.
right, you know, we never had surfboards. I used to wear a footy jersey or a
Yeah,
bloody.
yeah.
But what used to brass me off most of all was the girls could seem to stay along in the cold weather than me.
Yeah. We batch a party and we would go up the river there and spear these big stingrays just for something to do.
Yeah.
Be massive stingrays with a big spear, harpoon them and
hang on to them.
Can't remember if we even ate. You can eat the wings, but I don't think we ever did. But they were huge.
I remember going with McLean in his boat and going along Minnie Wongata and just harpooning them and tying them to the front of the boat and
That's for
hanging
the
on.
hell of it. Yeah.
Did you ever surf Pardow? I never went to Pardow.
Yeah. A lot of time there. Yeah, because Max Atkins' family had some sort of batch, so we did surf there.
Warren Manning.
I hired a batch here off Ian Cummins so that when the kids were younger, we go surfing 3 times a day. You stay for a couple of weeks and then you go for a surf somewhere else and you just feel so fit because you've been surfing every day for a few weeks. It really made a difference. It's a neat place. That's all Dave Boyd built that first house out there, A-frame thing. His kids were good surfers too. It's a neat ride.
You'll be surprised who actually surfs.
Yeah.
You know, even today, I've got an engineer, Grant Stevens, and he still surfs regularly at Pardow.
Yeah.
So,
I think a guy Beasley, the surveyor.
Yeah.
On the odd occasion he goes.
Yeah. And there's that dentist dude on Carno.
Stevenson's. So he got a place out at Sandy Bay.
I think he has, that's right.
Done some work for him out there.
I was talking to Steve Bowling.
Yeah, well, he's still
He's
right.
surfing all the time. He's got 3 sons to surf.
Yeah.
I said to him, I said something about I could surf the last couple of weeks. He said, oh yeah, I was out there yesterday at Ocean Beach, a metre high. It was good fun.
Yeah.